It's Monday night, it's RaceSpot TV, we're here on iRacing Live. Welcome to the UK and I Skip Barber Racing School Series. Rachel Whiteford here with Linus Bergstrom, and we're bringing you all the action from the first round of the season here at Brands Hatch Indy, where we are getting ready to go racing. Qualifying just over now as we get set to do a monumental race, Linus. It's going to be a mega one. We have 27 laps around this very short 1.3 mile course. Wow, huge action set to go ahead today with only, 33 drivers on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a very, very short track, only a handful of corners and a big bunch of cars. It's going to be non-stop action the whole race through.
Very much so, of course, as qualifying is now complete as well. Don't look at the qualifying positions there, but we'll just run through qualifying now on your screen before we get set to take the grid here. Mark Mercer on pole. Gavin Marsden will start alongside of the front row. John Keaveney will start in P number 3. Keith Sharp, P number 4. Dave Grunnell in P5. Wojciech Savidovic returning now, P number 6. Clark Williams, Graham Forrest make up the next row. Bill Fraser, Stuart Adcock will finish out your top 10. Stephen Harper, Brendan O'Brien, Paul Thurston, Chris Simpson and Mark O'Connell, your top 15. The rest of those starting positions will be up on your screen now as we get prepared to take that green flag as the cars will head out to the grid. Linus, of course, you've driven this track a lot of times, so have I. It's difficult to describe to the viewers just how tight and how short this lap is. There are 7 corners. It's non-stop action.
You don't really get any time for relaxing, and you're almost constantly turning as well. The straights on here aren't really straightaways because you're always lining up for the next corner, so you need to focus 100% of the time, and if you relax for a second you might have a car up your inside, and if one car comes through there's a big risk there's going to be 5, 6 or maybe even 7 cars coming at once.
Absolutely, of course. 32 cars in this grid. If they all take to the field, it'll be 33, but it's going to be an exciting race here. Lots of action, so we're going to have to keep this one flowing very rapidly for you tonight. But what a way to kick off a new season. Don't forget, RaceSpot TV do cover this series for free in support of Shelter, the housing and homelessness charity in the UK. And they are providing help to those people who really need it, especially at this time of year. So, of course, you can help them out. Don't forget, live timing is available from timing.racespot.tv if you want to keep up with the action, but you'll be better off just watching it live here on iRacing Live because you will miss things if you're sitting there looking at timing. But ready to go now, last few seconds on the grid, and we will kick off the race here. 1.2 miles, 7 turns. It's going to be incredibly exciting. As engines rev to a crescendo now. Green flag is out, away we go here at Brands Hatch. Good start for Mercer on the front row. Inside line for Paddock Hill will be a big benefit for him as he gets out to the outside. Good start by Marsden behind him. Keaveney getting a good run as well. Bit of action there in the mid-pack. We have cars forced wide there. Everyone's seeming to get through fairly well so far. Marsden to the outside as we get a defensive line by Mercer. Looking a bit further back of your field. Everyone's surviving Paddock Hill the first time around. Druid's usually a big tough spot here on turn 1.
Into the wall.
There is. That's a car up there in the outside wall. I apologise at Druids. That is
David Grunnell.
David Grunnell. He's out early on. He was in your top 5. Just ran very deep there. Out at the front is Mercer, still leading from Marsden, from Keaveney and Sharp, which is the order we normally expect to see these guys in, but anything can happen here, and lap traffic will play a big factor in this.
Yeah, they're going to start catching traffic, I think, about halfway through the race, and then it's just going to be about navigating past the slower cars and not make any mistakes and get through as quickly as possible.
Very much so. First time through Paddock Hill at speed for these drivers now. As we see cars washing out, we have contact there, and that is the Club 100 machine of Peter Cowan rubbing up against Rhys Saunders in the number 17 Cancer Research UK car as they just about avoid an incident until we see Cowan there getting into the back of O'Connell just ahead of him as O'Connell and Rhys Saunders.
Big
a big incident there, big contact. Saunders will carry on, but potential suspension damage. I'll get a replay of that up for you to have a look at backwards though, but O'Connell drifts across Linus, catches Saunders, both of those cars potentially very seriously damaged.
Yeah, O'Connell has got no front wing, and it looks like he's still back to the pits as well now, so his race is over.
Unfortunate for those drivers out front though. Still Mercer from Marsden, from Keaveney, from Sharp. We see that Red Devolution Racing machine heading up behind them. Wojciech Savidovic, Linus, he's a driver we've not seen in this series in a long time, and a series regular we have missed. As we see a move there by Gavin Marsden up at the front, trying to have something for Mark Mercer. Cannot get it done yet though, but we will see a move up the inside by Keith Sharp on Keevan E4. P number 3 as he gets it done. Oh, touching wheels there. Bumping wheels and skip barber cars is not what you want to be doing. As we have a cluster there, as we see time lost by Sharp in that position. As he tries to hold on something in the top 5. We'll see if he can do it, but more contact there with Savidovic and Sharp. Oh, 3 wide. Big contact there in the middle of your top 10. Really need to avoid that one, guys. That's not going to help anybody at all. These guys bumping and banging very early on, Linus.
Yeah, it's been a lot of tight racing and a lot of contact, and like you said, you want to avoid wheel-to-wheel contact in these cars because suspensions are very, very fragile, and if you hit just a little bit too hard, your race can go from well to over. Savidovic looks like he's going to retire.
It's on his own. He just comes off the track. Car not handling as he wants to, but Marsden has passed Mercer in the meanwhile for the lead in Druids. Big move there for the top position, but we'll see if he can hold it for long. Behind him, cars running very wide there through Graham Hill Bend. But as things stand at the moment, it's running fairly well. Not many retirements. Grunnell is out. Lindsay's out. O'Connell is in the pits. Ian Robinson is running still. So 30 cars still on your racetrack here as we are set to complete lap number 4 already. Yep, that's how quickly time flies. We're looking at 50-second laps here, Linus. This is a rapid pace.
Yeah, they've got very fast lap times at the front. They're not far off at the back, but with the lap being so short, it's not going to take long for them all to spread out and be spread out all over the track. Oh, there's a big crash in turn 1, big crash. Someone's off on the inside. Big crash in turn number 1, Linus. Just talk us through that. Don't know what happened. Was a red car got turned to the inside? I'm going to see if I can catch who that was.
Even Harpen was one of them. He was hit from behind, we believe, by the car of the number 13. That is Bill Fraser coming in from the rear in his Tartan monstrosity. Just touches the back of that car, puts him sideways. Big moment as he will lose it on his own on the inside. No other cars involved, which is lucky for him. Returning live, it's Marsden now, just stretching a small lead on Mark Mercer at the front. Not a lot here. We know that can close up very quickly. John Keaveney is in P number 3. They've dropped back now from the top 2 runners. That fight at the front is starting to cool down. Behind him, Clark Williams heading up towards the front of the 98 machine. Stuart Adcock as well. P number 5, Graham Forrest down to P number 6. Sharp, after his bumping and banging, has dropped all the way down to 7th. We've also lost Savidovic now after that retirement in turn number 1.
Oh, crash again, going into corner number 2.
Oh, big crash. Chris Simpson involved in that one. Going to get a replay for you. But Simpson making contact there, we believe, with the car of number 16. That is Simon Maltby heading up towards Druids, turn number 2. And we see just into the back of him hard as there's a slow car in front. Simpson has to check up. And, well, Maltby has nowhere to go, unsighted. Heavy contact. Those cars both badly damaged. Back at the front, though, it's still Marsden from Mercer, although Mercer looking like he might make a move here into Paddock Hill. No, he just pushes wide instead, looks for a good entry to the corner, perhaps sort of run up towards Druids. We see the big closing speed there from a good wide entry into Paddock Hill. But can Mercer do anything here? Will he hold it around the outside of Druids? We've seen it occasionally, but it won't happen here today. Looking further back in your field, looking at Fraser Williams in the 073 car. He's chasing Maltby, who was damaged in that previous incident. He'll look up the inside here at Druids. Behind Tim Adcock there ahead of him. And see a good move from the Scottish driver here in that Rocket League machine as he tries to take another position from Maltby and his teammate Mick Watson there in a teammate sandwich. But the no aerials for Williamson today, Linus.
Looks like Maltby's lost his front wing as well, so I'm surprised he can hold on as good as he can. But maybe that front wing isn't helping as much as it does in other cars.
Absolutely, Williamson, one of the biggest movers. P24 on the grid, up to P15 already. Granted, some of that's due to retirements, but hey, you got to be in it to win it. Up towards the front, Marsden still leading now from Mercer. Mercer not managed to find a way back yet in that Club 133 car, Linus. Just biding his time, as we know he likes to do. The guys behind him starting to slowly catch back up again. Graham Forrest, a good position here. Qualified 8th, he's in P number 6 right now, holding on to the back of Stuart Adcock really well. Brenton O'Brien there back in P number 7. Keith Sharp in P8. He's holding on now. Was in the top 5. Not anymore. Paul Thurston is in P number 9. Bill Fraser P number 10. Gary Tall P11. He's in the middle of that conga there with Fraser, Tall, Cowan, Adcock, Maltby and Williamson, which is a huge gaggle of cars.
Yeah, it looks like
sideways in front of them. We have a car round. The 26 machine of Gary Tall loses it there through the connection onto the final corner and just holds it barely, but we could have had a major incident to that one, but the cars get through without trouble. Now the head of that line will be the car of, we believe, that is the number 16 car of Maltby. Adcock through the inside of Paddock Hill. Will Williamson go with him? He will. Oh, look, don't go through wide. That would be very silly. He backs out just in time, and we'll take the inside line with Tim Adcock, Linus. 3 wide into Druids, recommended?
With skilled drivers, yes.
Oh, big drift
these
there
kind
from
of cars,
Williamson. He thinks he's playing Rocket League there, but drifting through Graham Hill. That's quite the manoeuvre.
Yeah, it was a ballsy move there, but they managed to hold on to it, so all good.
Big gaggle there forming behind those cars with Mick Watson, Alan Patterson, Simon Maltby holding off a huge train of cars. Patterson himself up from P22 to P16. He's in the heart of this one with Gary Tall there, who's dropped back. But Patterson in a huge collection of cars as Patterson makes contact behind him. But I believe that was Piers Cocky there in the number 18 car. It was, but he gets through. Reece Saunders, we saw him have that big incident before. Linus, he's back up fighting now. P number 20 for him.
Yeah, he rebounded very well from that, but I think he's still got a bit of damage, so he has to be careful to not lose control of that car and crash even more.
Absolutely, as we see Saunders making a move on Patterson there. He's trying to find some way around the series organiser, Alan Patterson, as he tries to get back up from the incident we saw early on. Patterson running wide in the final corner, gives Saunders a way through there on the inside in that number 17 Cancer Research UK car. Behind him, the 77 machine of Stephen Nubbis will come through too, as he tries to find a opening in the line here, but not really going to find an opportunity yet. Just looking at the front really quickly as we see lap traffic playing a major role already, as we still see it's Marsden from Mercer, from Keaveney from Williams, but no real changes. We don't expect them too soon. We'll have to find out.
I think Mercer is just sitting behind right now waiting for the lap traffic to come into play. He knows it's still very early, it's 15, 16, something like that laps to go, and a lot of lap traffic coming up, but just as I said, he's making a move to the outside going into turn number 1.
He will do. Mark Mercer looking to the outside there in turn number 1. Can he get anything done here running up towards Druids? He holds well around the outside of Paddock Hill, but we know the treacherous outside here of Druids is very difficult to make a pass on unless he can pinch Marsden tight. Oh, wheels touch. Mercer will hold the outside inside now for Graham Hill Bend. Perfect lining up 3 corners to get it done, Linus, but he'll do it as well. Side-to-side contact there, Marsden and the car of Mercer, as Mercer moves to block off a cheeky attempt by John Keaveney to take advantage of that situation, but he will hold on to second. Not what he wanted, but he'll have to take it considering he could have just been out of this race.
Yeah, that was not far away from being a race ending for both of them, but they're 2 very professional drivers, so they both know exactly what they're doing. But Keaveney is taking advantage of this and has closed up and might make a move into turn number 1 here.
It'd be great to see one of the new series. It'd be great to see one of the new series drivers, John Keaveney, making a move here on a series veteran, Mark Mercer, at Club 100 car, well regarded at the front of the field here in UK and Skip Barber Racing. Of course, you can also catch Skip Barber 2K Cup on Sunday nights here on Racespot TV and iRacing Live, with longer race distances, pit stops, and a European collection of drivers rather than just UK and I series drivers. So another one to check out for you there, as we see more lap traffic being passed by your drivers here in the lead pack. Looking back, Stuart Adcock up to P number 5, really hasn't made any traction yet, gaining on Clark Williams ahead of him, but well, there's plenty of time left to go. Lap 13 now, we are just under halfway to the end. Doesn't feel like it, does it, Linus?
No, I mean the laps count down very quickly here, and it's going to be gone before you know what even happened. At the same time, it looks like Mark Mercer's actually jumped a bit from Gavin Marsden. I don't know what's happened there, but he's falling behind.
He has. Mark Mercer there is just in second place. Let Marsden away somewhat as he defends from John Keaveney. Clark Williams back in P number 4. is doing the best he can to try and catch up to this and pack and take advantage, but just not close enough right now. Number 99 is in a great battle at the moment, and that is the driver of Peter Cowan there, head-to-head fighting with Tim Adcock and Fraser Williamson. Of course, those two cars are very experienced drivers. Williamson new to the series last season, but he's already had a good few bloodings in, Linus. He's a pretty rapid driver, great in traffic, of course, down to his oval prowess, but ahead of Tim Adcock and Peter Cowan, which is an impressive feat for any driver.
Yeah, he's had a very good race so far. He was struggling a little bit last season, but in this one he's made it all the way up to P11 already from starting P19. So, sorry, P24. So he's had a very, very good race so far.
Very much so, as he pulls away now as Cowan and Adcock start fighting behind him. Mick Watson and Gary Toll back there as well, as we see that number 073 car up to P number 11 from 24, up 13 positions on the racetrack. Very great start to his race. Towards the front of the field, Forrest is battling now with lap traffic, trying to get around that car ahead of him, the 11. That was Ian Robson that was just jammed in there, slowing down P number 6, trying to catch up to Stuart Adcock, who's managed to make a big getaway ahead of him, Linus. That's a couple of 100-meter gap up towards your front pack, as Mercer is still leading that second pack up to the inside. John Keaveney, the number 10 car, makes a move for second here at Brands Hatch Indy. And he will look to complete that, and he does. So, John Keaveney up to P number 2 right now, as Gavin Marsden makes a huge getaway.
Yeah, I've been looking closer at Mercer's car, and it looks like the right rear in his car might be a bit bent in. Don't know if that's the case, but something is wrong with that car, because he's fallen off massively from that side contact he had with Marsden earlier.
Absolutely big contact before earlier in the laps with Marsden and Mercer. Caused them a huge amount of problems. We have a crash behind them.
He's back on track again.
We have several cars having incidents. We'll have to try and find out exactly what that entailed. I think that was Ian Robson that went off in the final corner. We had something behind them. That was the number 50 car of Paul Thurston, who has a huge off through Graham Hill Bend, just taking a little bit too much curbing. As through behind him will come the car of Bill Fraser. Oh no, he gets loose in the exit. Bill Fraser lightly taps him, puts Thurston into the gravel trap, and he will be at least 3 or 4 under par from that one, Linus. Not what he wants to see in this race, but he will get back round and going again, hopefully with minimal damage. We'll get back onto this one, of course. We saw the replay there. Up towards the front, Marsden getting away now. 2.5 seconds between himself and John Keaveney in second place. Mercer dropping back as well from him, so Mercer was holding up that pack, Linus. He does have car damage. He cannot maintain the speed these guys do.
Yeah, he's just got to be very, very careful now, not make any mistakes. Oh, there's a crash in the second to last corner as well, but he's straightening out. He just got to keep going and not make any mistakes to make the damage even worse and finish as high as he can.
Absolutely, as these drivers now battling through lap number 17 onto 18. Before we have just under now 10 to go in this race. This is passing by so rapidly. 27 laps around a 50-second lap. Wow, it's crazy traffic conditions here for these guys. Lap cars are starting to become a major issue for your racers. Marsden out front though, 2.7 seconds now as he comes to complete lap number 18 onto 19. Marsden really benefited from that one. John Keaveney, not sure he can have the pace to catch up with your race leader, Linus, so could be a locked and sealed deal for Marsden.
Yeah, he keeps pulling away now ever since Keaveney got into second, so I think he's pretty much secured his victory as long as he doesn't make any mistakes.
Very much so. Mercer having more issues on the racetrack as he is being passed now by Clark Williams through Druids. Mercer's car definitely damaged, Linus. He's holding on. We've seen him do this before. We've seen him hold on doggedly and battle back for top 5 positions, where we might not have seen another driver hold on just as well as he has, but Mercer here, really, he's out of the title fight.
Yeah, oh, he's got a big sideways moment as well. He almost ran into the back of the car in front of Clark Williams, but he managed to hold it. But yeah, he's got some damage, so he's gonna be really slow. He just needs to hold on as much as he can. But the gap now from 5th down to 6th is almost 4 seconds, so he might be able to hold on to 5th place.
Yeah, we do expect that he will hold on to that time difference there. Mercer's last lap, 53.6. Williams' last lap was a 53.1, 51.9 for Keaveney, and a 51.6 for Marsden. So definitely off the pace there for Mark Mercer. Stuart Adcock, who was unimpeded behind him, 52.1. So that's more than a second difference between the other drivers. Of course, Mark Mercer doing his best here. Fraser up to P number 9 we're seeing here, and number 26 car we're just being told. Linus, can you tell us anything about Gary Toll?
I don't know. He might have had
bump drafting the car in front of him, Peter Cowan there. Yeah, has got some sidepod damage, but he's racing hard with Peter Cowan, the 99 Club 100 car, up ahead of him. As yeah, you don't really want to bump draft in Skip Barber cars. That can be a little bad. As behind them we have contact. Watson and Nobis having a bit of a side-by-side moment there as Nobis dive bombs right in underneath Mick Watson and wants to take away P number 14 here at the line. He will do that. Up ahead of them, Tall making a move around the outside of Cowan. Will the undercut happen? Tall with a good run through here. He'll have the inside line for Druids. Big battling right down here in P number 13, 14, Linus, as we see Tall there. Has the inside line, but he can't hold it. Oh, we could see Cowan hold on the outside. He will do indeed. Cowan has the corner for Graham Hill. Cowan will hold on to his position. Ooh, wheel-to-wheel contact there. Definitely suspension damage for Cowan. He is very slow. Everybody flows around him there. That was interesting. Tall just taking too much of a bite there, trying to go too wide. And that's cost Cowan a lot of positions.
Yeah, that was a very big mistake from him going into that. I think he already had some damage, and now he just lost it again going onto the last straight, but he managed to hold on to it. That car is way too broken to be on track.
Yeah, Peter Cowan's car is fishtailing around on the racetrack. I think he knows his race is over. That car is all over the place. Definitely a rear suspension component is broken there, as Paul Thurston
is off in the gravel now as well.
Yep, Thurston is off in the gravel. Will he stay off the track? Will he park? As he nearly re-enters the racetrack in front of Reece Saunders there and Chris Robinson. As he's trying to drive on as he nearly loops it again in Druids. Well, it looks like he's in a prolonged crashing situation. I'm sure that will conclude at some point. So we'll go back to the leaders until something happens to him. But Marsden out front, running away 3.5 seconds now back to Keaveney. Keaveney has not got the pace to catch up now to Kevin Marsden. All Marsden needs to do now is finish. That's 5 more laps, Linus. This seems pretty much signed, sealed and delivered. Yeah,
it's just a cruise to the finish now for Marsden. He's got a...
Cowan's pitting.
Yeah, that's good to hear. He's just got a cruise to the victory now, last 5 laps. Mark Mercer, though, is holding on to the back of Stuart Adcock somehow. He's not dropping back anymore, so don't really know what that's about, but he's keeping the gap as well down to P6, so he's probably going to hold on to P5 unless he gets back up to P4.
Yeah, Mercer's managed to find something in that car. Perhaps he's learned how to drive his rather damaged Skip Barber race car, but doing a great job there, holding on to P5. In fact, he might even challenge for P4 with the way things are looking. Mark Mercer, of course, a series veteran here, highly experienced driver, knows exactly what he's doing, and we love seeing him race every single week. But so is Stuart Adcock ahead of him. This could be a monumental battle between 2 veterans in this series, and I don't mean that in an old way, guys. I know I've been brought up on that before. You're experienced. Looking back in the field, Fraser Williamson and Bill Fraser are P8 to P9. I'll make sure I phrased that one correctly. Okay, that's my bad pun for the night. But Bill Fraser in P number 8 is about 4 seconds up the road from Fraser Williamson, so not expecting a battle between those two. But Williamson holding off Keith Sharp behind him. Williamson looking like a top 10 finish here. He's in P9 right now, Linus. Keith Sharp, of course, was in P4, and he's a fast driver, but that car not really up to speed at the moment.
No, he's not really. I don't know if he's got any damage as well. There's a lot of cars with tiny damage on here, but he's not as quick as we used to see him. He qualified in P4 and was expecting to see him up the front, but something must have happened to him because he's a little bit slower than what we're used to seeing him.
Certainly is, but up at the front, Marsden, well, he's into Mercedes mode now. No one can catch him, so we're going to stop focusing the camera on him. 5.4 seconds gap to Keaveney. Yep, say goodbye to your limelight. We're looking at the other cars. Clark Williams holding off Stuart Adcock behind him as he's just passed Peter Cowan there, the lap down car now, unfortunately. 22 cars left on your lead lap there, as Williams looks like he will be getting a podium in this race, barring any issues. Although Mark Mercer still hanging on to Stu Adcock, although he has actually, I believe, dropped back off him to a second behind the number 52 driver. So looking like top 5 will be all he can achieve here today, Linus. Not looking like P4.
No, he made a little mistake in a couple of corners on the last lap, so he's pretty much out of contention for anything other than P5 right now.
Well, we're going to go a lap on board right now with Tim Adcock in that number 21 car. He is battling Keith Sharp now. He wants that position as he looks to the inside there in Druids. We're going to go on board with your number 21 driver in that Martini Williams Skip Barber car. Always one of my favourite liveries here, chasing the Red Devolution Racing car of Keith Sharp. The 932 there, heading out of Graham Hill Bend. Up towards Surtees where it rejoins the main track here. See just how much these cars yaw in the corners. Adcock getting a good run there through the corner as he heads up behind Sharp. Not going to be close enough to make a pass though, Linus, but these cars very wobbly really in the handling.
Yeah, well, it's not an easy car to drive. When you learn it, it's pretty easy, but for a rookie, this is a very tough car to tame. You just got to get used to it, really.
Gavin Marsden, he is on the final lap now, heading on lap 27 out of the final corner. Gavin Marsden, the number 7 car, will win round 1 of the UK and I Skip Barber Racing School Series here at Brands Hatch Indy. He puts his stamp on the season. This could be his season for a championship run, because at the moment, he's the guy sitting on top in the points. Behind him, John Keevan, he comes home in second, and your podium will be rounded out by Clark Williams. Well, Linus, we'll have to wait for everybody else to finish at the moment, because we don't really see any battles that will be decided yet at the line. That was intense.
Yeah, it was a lot of minor incidents and not really any big ones like we were expecting, but some good racing and some battles all over the track. Shame to see the leader pull away like that, but not to take anything away from Gavin Marsden, because he did an amazing job here, and he's a well-deserved winner, and I would have him as one of my favourites for the championship if he can keep this pace throughout the entire season.
Very much so. Results now up on your screen. Well, it was an easy first victory for Gavin Marsden after contact with Mark Mercer gave him a free run to the flag. John Keaveney in P number 2. Clark Williams rounds out your podium in 3rd. Stuart Adcock, P number 4. Mercer holds on for 5th. Graham Forrest will finish P number 6. Brendan O'Brien in 7th. Bill Fraser in P8. Fraser Williamson in P9. So back-to-back Frasers there as Keith Sharp rounds out your top 10. Tim Adcock comes home P number 11. P12 Gary Tall. Stephen Nobes, Mick Watson and Simon Maltby your top 15 and your first round point scorers. Rest of the finishing positions up on your screen now. Linus, intense start to the season, expecting 12 rounds, well 11 remaining rounds now of pure adrenaline filled action. This series never ever fails to disappoint.
Now, we had some really good races last season, some really good battles and a few big incidents, but that's just part of racing, and if the rest of the season keeps on like this race, we're in for one of the best seasons yet, I think.
We absolutely are. Of course, the Skip Barber UK&I Racing School Series does follow the official series schedule for the Skip Barber car, so you can actually practice during the week in the official series if you run here and run this on the Monday night, the last day of the iRacing week, of course. Whilst it's the first day of the week for most of us humans, next week, Linus, is Laguna Seca, followed by Road Atlanta Homestead road course for a bit of Roval action. Then back to Spa, then we have Nürburgring Grand Prix, bringing in the new iRacing.com track, onto Twin Ring Motegi Grand Prix, the full-length course in week number 7. Zandvoort will be week 8. Zolder, another favourite in this series, Alton Park International, an incredible track, but limited in numbers. Back to the Rovaling for Charlotte, and we finish up at your favourite track, Mount Panorama, Bathurst.
Well, wouldn't call it a favourite track, but yeah. We had a good race there last year, so it's going to be a great season finale, but we got an entire season ahead of us before we go there, and a stretch of 3 American tracks to follow up this premiere is going to be a very good season.
It certainly will be. And don't forget, this series is brought to you by Racebot TV for free in support of Shelter, the charity that provides assistance to the homeless and those struggling with bad housing. It's Christmas time, folks. You can donate to them on the Racebot TV Just Giving page, and you can also sponsor Will Vincent when he runs in the London Marathon in 2016 in support of Shelter. So, thank you for joining us tonight. Of course, I've been Rachel Whiteford. I've been joined by Linus Broström. Well, next week will be Christmas, and we might not be on, but either way, have a great holiday, have a great Christmas, and we will catch you next time. Good night.